Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. It is game week. We are just 5 short days away from Tennessee kicking off against South Carolina. That East Tennessee air was just a little cooler, a little bit more crisp this morning. It is starting to feel like football season. Cade Mays is almost free. Not quite, but almost as of the time of this recording. We're waiting on the SEC to set him free. But my name is Boogie Bentley, and this is your preview for the defensive backs.
Songs how like being poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken baskets in updated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.
All right, guys, we're going to get into the defensive backs here in just a second. They are a position group that they might excite me more than any other position group that we have gone through, and all we have left are the quarterbacks. But I'm excited to get into the defensive backfield, the secondary. But first, take care of a little bit of business. Talkin VAWLS Live returns full-time this week. We are going to go live every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And also immediately following the games on Saturday. So that's Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and also Saturdays immediately following the game. Also this week for the first game, we're going to do a special tailgate show. So join us right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network an hour before kickoff. It's going to be laid back, hanging out, talking to you guys, looking through the game. It's going to be fun. Just make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't miss out on when Talkin VAWLS is going to be live and also dropping some special videos along the way. JP is going to have the quarterbacks preview on Friday, so be looking for that. But let's get into it. This is about the Tennessee secondary, the defensive backs. I'm excited, man. There is so much talent in this secondary. You're hearing of, you got guys like Thompson and Alontae Taylor, but the talent and the athleticism that's behind them from some of these freshmen, some of these younger kids are pushing some of these seniors and juniors, and that's what I like. That's what you need. Competition is what this Tennessee football team, what this program needs to get back on track. But first and foremost, they return everybody in the secondary from a year ago other than Nigel Warrior, and losing him is tough. I never thought I would say that. We were pretty rough on the kid early in the season, but the way he stepped up, he proved to be a real leader for this Tennessee defensive backfield in 2019. So losing him, who's going to step up and fill that role? But also Balin Buchanan, once again, going to be forced to miss the entire season after he sat out all of 2019 with the spine issue. So he is also out for the year. So other than that, everybody's back. What I love about this secondary, other than the fact, you've got all this talent and athleticism, I love that it's the focal point for Jeremy Pruitt and also Derek Ansley. So your head coach and your defensive coordinator are focused. This is their position group. So I think that brings a lot to the table also. But the first guy I want to talk about here, let's start with the corners. Bryce Thompson, he made the third team all SEC coaches team. Last year he missed some time in 2019 due to suspension, but he still had a solid season, had 3 interceptions. And an interesting stat that I saw while I was putting this thing together, did not allow a single touchdown in coverage for 2019. So then when you look and you flip over to the other side and you look at Alontae Taylor and what he brings to the table, I think if you can get these two guys, Taylor did have some issues last year. He had some blown coverages, and it's something we can go back and look at is that BYU game. That was a blown coverage by Taylor that allowed that game to go into overtime, and then we all know how that ended. But if we can get solid production out of Bryce Thompson and Alontae Taylor on the outside, if you can get these two guys to lock down the outside, it opens up what this defense can do in the middle, what you can do with guys from that star position, which I'm going to get into in just a second. But I think if we can find a way, if Thompson and Alontae Taylor, if these guys can put together, lock down the outside, I think we're going to see some bright spots in this secondary. But what if Alontae Taylor's not the guy? You had Kenneth George, who started 6 games last year. Could he possibly push for a starting spot. Where does Warren Burrell fit in? He started the games last year where Thompson had to sit out. So Burrell has some experience. Another guy we're hearing about is Keyshawn Lawrence. He's getting a lot of talk as a true freshman, and he started off practicing at safety, but now he's moved over to corner. You got to look at, the reality of the situation. You got to look at contact tracing and COVID-19. Some of these guys, it's going to be very important if they can move around and play different positions. But like I said, a lot of hype behind Keyshawn Lawrence, and now that he's moved to corner, he's seeing some reps all over the field. I think he is a guy that we could see get mixed into the rotation. But leave me a comment. Let me know. Do you think Taylor can hold on to that starting spot? I think Thompson's probably a lock on the outside, but who is going to take that other corner position? Do you think it's going to be Taylor, or do you think, a guy like George steps up? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up. Another position I want to get into, and this is a guy that I think brings a lot to the table, and that's Sean Schamberger at the star position. And the reason I like Schamberger, what he brings to the table, is the way that he comes off the edge. He's a blitz guy. He puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and a lot of times it's the way that Pruitt and Ansley are scheming this stuff up. But Schamberger, his timing was on another level. The way he would come down to the line of scrimmage and put pressure so many times untouched coming off the end, so many times. And like I said earlier about Bryce Thompson, Sean Schamberger also did not allow a touchdown in coverage, which is an interesting stat for me. But I'm excited about Schamberger. You're hearing there's some push. There may be some other guys that look to steal that starting spot. But again, competition breeds success, and that's what Tennessee has been lacking is depth. And when you look at this defensive backfield from top to bottom, there are so many guys. Like I said, Lawrence is a guy you're hearing about. Fields, Danico Slaughter is a guy a lot of people are high on. Are these kids going to be able to find a way to work their way, maybe not into the starting rotation, but I think you're going to see them, get some playing time. And that's, again, it's a good thing. That's a good problem to have, is all of this talent. When we move over to the safety position, again, we got to find a way to replace Nigel Warrior. Who can do that? What are we going to see here? There's a lot of buzz behind Trayvon Flowers. Everybody's talking about him having a really good fall camp. I think it was a week ago in the scrimmage, he made an interception. So he's a guy, again, everybody's talking about, but what are we going to get from him? What are we going to see? It's tough to put some of these position previews together because the way practice is limited. There's no media. It's hard for some of these outlets to get information. But also out at the safety position, McCullough started 6 games as a true freshman. He had an interception and a couple of pass breakups in 12 games. Where does Theo Jackson fit into this? He is a senior this year, 4th in the team in tackles when I was putting this together. That kind of surprised me too. But again, I think when you put this whole thing, when you bring it all back to the beginning with where we started this conversation, I think it starts on the outside with Bryce Thompson and Alontae Taylor. And I think those guys have showed a lot of promise. I'm excited about what they bring to the table, but we'll see how it all shapes up. But like I said, guys, leave me a comment. Let me know, what do you think about this secondary? Do you think they're going to be able to replace Nigel? What do you think about the outside? Who do you think starts? Who are you excited about? Who are some of the freshmen that you're excited about? Again, Danico Slaughter, Fields, Lawrence, who are you excited about? Leave me a comment and let me know. That's going to wrap this thing up for the defensive backs preview. Short and sweet as always. But again, be sure to join us every single Wednesday moving forward. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, we will go Talkin VAWLS live. So join us for that. Also Saturday after the game. And again, the special tailgate show this week for South Carolina. If you guys enjoy that and want to do more of it, just let us know. It's always a good time. About 45 minutes laid back atmosphere. But we enjoy talking to you guys. We appreciate all the support. Again, if you haven't done so yet, hit that thumbs up on the videos. It helps drive the analytics. We appreciate it. Leave us a comment. And as always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out when Talking VAWLS goes live. But my name is Boogie Bentley. I got one thing left to say, and that is go Big Orange.
The